Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for passing by. Thank you so much for subscribing. And thank you very much for watching my videos. You are greatly appreciated. I recently did a video on Deverbrat, and I spoke about his talent. I spoke about his past, his falling out with Vibes Cartel, yada yada yada. I also gave recommendation as what he can do or what he should be doing if he's smart to move forward in order to have a successful career or perhaps a close enough to successful career. Now I noticed that he dropped this song and I was listening to it and it's lyrical. It's the same thing that I said. I wish that somebody would have passed the information on to Deborah on the video that I did because it's lyrical. It's the same rhetoric. It echoes the same thing. Another Vibes Cartel diss. Like we get it that he disrespected you. We get it that to you he betrayed you. We get that. I spoke about it. I don't need to reiterate it or revamp or rehash the entire video. However, Deverbat, you did the same thing. You put out a song and it's a distract to Vibes Cartel. We know, according to you, that he has been very disrespectful and he's been saying so many things. But in order for you to be any better, you have to move on or stay within that wormhole and you will forever stay in it and you will never grow and you will never advance. It's just that simple. Persons can either pass the information on to him and to help save him, he can watch the video that I put out, or he can just stay continuously doing 100 this song after the other and pray the day that one makes it to the light. But that's how far it will go. There will be heavy limitations on it. And, sometimes you have to understand when the road ends, as I've spoken on it before. But that's not the main reason I did this video because we know the entire situation already. The reason I did this video is a lot of these vloggers who are coming and supporting Vibes Cartel are weird. And I am not sure. Yes, I am sure. You guys are hypocrites. You guys are not stating the obvious. A lot of you guys are going way too hard for a man. So many persons have been coming out of the woodwork. It's like the veil is slowly being removed from a lot of persons' eyes. And there are so many persons who are coming out of the woodwork and are speaking on it. You guys are doing way too much. It's like there's a Stan. Remember, I incorporated the Eminem song Stan, where there was a crazy obsessed fan that loved Eminem, supported Eminem, been to his concert, but he was also psychotic. You understand? And a lot of you seem to echo that same behavioral pattern when it comes to vlogging, when it comes to persons who are at odds with Vibes Cartel. You men are doing way too much. And it makes me to wonder, like, if you guys are even straight, because it's very bizarre to see men who claim to be heterosexual, especially from the Jamaican community, how they go aggressively to defend their sexuality and to bash people or to speak out against people who are living a homosexual lifestyle. But then you guys are going so hard for a man, and it's not even on social media, actually plays out in real life, wherein so many women also are scared to speak on Vibes Cartel because men will attack them, not just verbally, but also physically. Men tend to be very violent towards any woman out there who has anything to say about Vibes Cartel. I've seen it. And that's why I avoid public discussion on this individual, especially when it comes to a lot of illiterate people. And we know there's way too many of them in the society. And with that being said, you just have to stay silent and just try your best not to communicate with people in the public space when it comes on to this particular artist. You guys are doing way too much. It is very, very creepy. There was one particular vlogger by the name of One Kevin. Very spooky, very spooky. There's nothing wrong with defending your artist. There's nothing wrong with that. But what you are doing, it's like you sit down and you scroll and you search for every single person that has something to say about Vibes Cartel. And note well, these are people who have personal experience with the guy. These are people who know him. They know Vibes Cartel. They have had some sort of relation with him some time ago for a very good while. and they're speaking their side, and it's like you want to silence them. Now, I am not saying that Deborah Brat video or interview with Artist Child, it wasn't disrespectful or have disrespectful undertone in relation to Vybz Kartel, which is the subject at hand. It was, in fact, disrespectful. A lot of things that he said, a lot of things that persons came on the live and were saying and stuff like that. However, Deborah Brat is within his right to speak on his side because he feels Vybz Kartel is constantly taking jabs at him, and Vybz Kartel did an entire song about not touching, not RAPE, and all these type of things. And it was a diss track years ago to Deborah Brat, and he believed it a tape, Gaza no rape slogan that Vybz Kartel always say. He strongly believes that it's a dig towards him and he's feeling hurt about it. So he's within his right to speak on it. No, he has to bridge. I'm sorry, not bridge. He has to wage a difference between speaking on being hurt and actually lashing out. Because lashing out is going to get you nowhere. It's an active aggression, and at the end of the day, you're building up resistance, wanting to fight back, wanting to cuss back. And this is what I said in the video. When you're going out and about and you're going to fight back, and you said it on your live that you want to fight for your name and fight so people can see, the universe is not going to reward you. I am sorry. You are putting up a resistance through fighting, and because you're putting up a resistance through fighting, the universe is resisting what you are giving. The universe is not going to reward you. So the resistance is not accepting that you should move on from this. You got your notoriety from the Gaza camp, yes, but you have to move on. Let's get back to the one Kevin, how I incorporated. Sir, I don't know what you're on. I don't know what your story is with Vybz Kartel or what you're on about. We get that Vybz Kartel is lyrical. We get that he's talented. That's not something we're going to take away from him. Nobody's going to take away his talent from him. But you are doing way too much. You are always shouting. You're always yelling. You're overly aggressive. You're vulgar. You are nasty at the mouth and very disrespectful to people. These are people who have personal experience. These are people who know Vybz Kartel that constantly speak out on him. And you are disrespecting them because they speak on their past experience. They speak on what they are going through or what they have dealt with over the years with Vybz Kartel. So what we are not going to do is to try to silence people's pain and long suffering. You cannot silence it simply because you are a fan of this person. A lot of persons liked R. Kelly over the years, but you could not silence the victims anymore because he really do, in fact, violated a lot of young girls. So not because we like his music and we support him, it doesn't take away from who he really is. And it's the same thing with P. Diddy. Yes, he was found not guilty in a lot of things, but yet he was paying for sex. He was doing this, he was doing that. And we're not going to pretend as if we want to silence people who are potential or alleged victims of him. Not because we respect him as a hip-hop mogul, as a billionaire, as very successful. So you can't act as if because he's a man and because he started Gaza and he's telling his side of the story, where it comes from, regardless of the fact that he's aggressive, he's lashing out, he's being disrespectful on his live, he's telling his side of story of what took place with your favorite artist. You understand? You can't pretend as if you want to silence the guy. You can't, because he is putting up a resistance, which means that he's not going to stop. So if it reaches the success or the failure of his career or his music that he's putting out, so be it, according to him. However, it's not the wisest road, but obviously that's a road that he's on. That's a road that he's on. But if he chooses that lane and stuff like that, he will continue until it just works itself out. You understand? But for you as a vlogger or as someone who is a Vybz Kartel vlogger then or a Gaza vlogger, sir, you are doing way too much. You are being way too disrespectful to so many persons out there. And you're acting as if you know these people. You are defending Vybz Kartel as if you know the people who are at odds with him. Like you know them personally, you know them many years ago, and you know them for many years. So what they're saying is null and void. What they're saying is rubbish. What they're saying has nothing. You know these people from music, from entertainment, from the falling out that went on the media, not the fine, intricate details of what took place, and they are speaking on it. You cannot silence people. So let's say Vanessa Bling comes out tomorrow and say, this is the reason I don't do this show, this is the reason I do not do that show, and stuff like that with Vybz Kartel because of this, because of that. You're going to upload a video and shout at the girl and or the young woman and be disrespectful just the same? Come on. Come on. Yes, with Deborah, there's a right way and there's a wrong way to speak on your side. But at the same time, you can't pretend as if you want to silence Deborah But because he's saying things that you don't like about the person you idolize. You guys are putting Vybz Kartel on a way high pedestal where you're overly respecting him, overly honoring him, paying too much homage, and make it seem as if he's no longer a human being, but he's a god. He may be your God. He's not other person's God. And while him being a man, if it bleeds, it dies. If it bleeds, it's going to die eventually. And so these are things that you have to understand, sir. You're having a highfalutin moment where you're going on and on and on and just searching to find anybody that has anything to say, especially people who have a falling out with Vybz Kartel personally, who had some relations with him, to go on and on and on and attack them. This can't be the way to vlog. This doesn't look like vlogging, as a matter of fact. It looks like a continuous attack, sitting in a vehicle somewhere at a place, and you're continuously attacking people. And it went viral. Your moments are going viral, yes. Good for you if that's the angle that you're going for, a negative energy you are pulling in order to get a viral moment and stuff like that. It's not really going to work out for your advantage in the long run because it's an element that you're going to have to continue on. But okay, let's say that's the element that you're going for, whatever the case may be. You have to understand that there are people out there who have personal experiences with your artist or with your God, and they're going to speak on it. And there's nothing that you can say that can actually silence them. You understand? So that's a reality. That's a reality. And you want to traverse carefully in these times where people are reachable, people are touchable. You might want to be careful also, because going out and making these type of scathing remarks, using caustic words, being outright disrespectful all the time to people, about people, while vlogging, it's never that safe anywhere. It's never that safe anywhere. So you have to allow people to speak their side, especially people who are speaking on their personal experience that they had. Yes, the things that a lot of truth is in your argument that, you know, he had 13 years, that he could have done this, could have. You and I know that it's not that simple. And if you don't know, it means that there's not much goddamn sense to you. Because clearly a person with common sense would know that it could never possibly be that easy for him to organize and get back Portmore Empire artists on board to do songs with them, to get them out there when the guy is literally blacklisted. You understand? So for you to think that, okay, he had 13 years, he could have done this, he could have easily well done that. He's no more than any other artist out there who had a name for themselves, who are way successful at so many hits, and they became blackballed, or they were blackballed by the industry and stuff like that. Yes, their music still continues. They still get performance here and there, but they won't get sold out arenas like before. You understand? Because there's a black cloud that the label or the industry have put over them. And you have to understand that these things do exist also in the Jamaican space. So for you to come and speaking on the man and actually trying to silence him through disrespect, through honoring your boss, and also making scathing remarks about situations that you have absolutely no knowledge of, and you're speaking on your personal opinion and incorporating it in a disrespectful undertone and stuff like that, you really have to be careful, because at the end of the day, people are within their right to speak on what's hurting them. If the guy was happy and in a happy place when it comes to such subject matter, he would not be lashing out. He'll become cool, collective, thinking about himself, talking about his personal situation, what he got going on, what he's pushing, who he's working with, who are on his team, and all of that, which is where I hope he will get one day. I hope that he will get there one day. However, is not yet there. And that's why I did the initial video and said, Deborah, at some point you have to move on. You have to just move on. It's not that easy. Nothing that you want that is great will come that easy. Because if it does, it's not going to stay with you. So you need to just back off a little bit. You need to back off a little bit. You need to back the hell off a little bit. You're doing way too much. You're hyperventilating over Vybz Kartel. You're disrespecting everybody for Vybz Kartel. You're saying a lot of things about people that you don't know that know Vybz Kartel personally for a very long time. And you are going on and on and on and on and on as if you control the narrative and you control what comes out of people's mouth about their hurt, their pain, their suffering when it comes to a Vybz Kartel. And it's not only you, there are other persons out there, other vloggers out there who are doing it, other persons who upload videos and stuff like that. I'm not saying that they should not defend their artists, but clearly there's another way that you can do it without shouting constantly, without being disrespectful and all of that. You do not have a right to be disrespectful. That's why you can be held liable in court if you say things that are what? To malign people. You understand? And to defame them. You can be held liable in court. So you have a privilege to be disrespectful. You do not have a right, in case you didn't know, sir. You don't have a right to be disrespectful to people. So if you want to defend your artist, fine, go ahead and defend them. Fine, go ahead and defend him, I should say. It's okay to defend Vybz Kartel because he's your artist. But to come out and be nasty and, using these vulgar raucous words and going on and shouting and doing all of that, you're doing way too much, sir. If you're a family man and family-oriented individual, do you defend your kids like that? Do you spend time with your kids like that? Do you go all out to defend your kids like that? You guys are crazy. I saw even a guy did a video and he was speaking on it that a lot of you guys are doing way too much when it comes to Vybz Kartel. No, man, it's not looking cute. It's not looking straight. You're not looking like a straight man. You're looking like something is in the closet going on. It's like you guys have fantasies about Vybz Kartel. You have emotional connection, deep-rooted emotional connection to Vybz Kartel. It is scary because if I was with a guy and he was behaving like this over Vybz Kartel, I would not want to be with him. I'm sorry, I would not want to be with him. Because if he's going to hold a phone to his face or a camera or whatever the thing is, the device he's using, and he's just going to lash out at everybody and shouting all the time and to defend Vybz Kartel. I mean, what amount of money Vybz Kartel is paying you? There are so many persons out there who pay fans and pay people to defend them. But at the end of the day, you have to be careful. You have to tread carefully because you can be liable in court also. You can't act as if you want to use ignorance and blatant stupidity to silence people. And we always speak on men not having a voice when it comes to their pain. They're not being heard. They're not being understood. They're not being respected. We laugh at them and say that they're not men. They need some testosterone. They're this, they're that. Here lies a situation where Devra Brat is not using violence. He's using his lyrical content. He's also going on live and speaking, even though he's lashing out and he's enraged about the entire situation because he's passionate about it and stuff like that. He's also speaking on his hurt. Why are you not allowing him to do so? You have to allow him to do so. Many persons, I don't know anybody that have spoken about their personal experience with Alkaline like that, or what took place with Vybz Kartel, but when they come out being disrespectful to to Alkaline, I should say, I will come out and I will defend the artist because the artist has been a victim of bullying since the day he got into music. And so I am within my right to defend the artist and speak on what he has accomplished over the years and what he got going on for himself. That's a difference. I think you should understand the difference and do things differently. But this is the type of individual that you guys are. Matters not how somebody comes and say, do it this way, do it the right way. You are going to do it your way, no matter how stupid you look. That's what you're going to do. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day. God bless you.